Hi, I'm Kathy Dodson.
And I'm Jocelyn Lindsay. Welcome to another episode of 5 Minute Indie Insights, publishing tips and tricks in mostly 5 minutes because we want you to learn all the things as fast as you can and make all the money and retire to someplace exotic and then come in the comments and tell us all about your amazing life. Thanks to us, of course.
All right. Well, today we have something new. We are going to talk audiobooks. And I'm going to share my screen because we're going to talk about one of the many ways to make audiobooks, and that's by using ACX. ACX is the Amazon audiobook farm. So you go to acx.com and we're just going to run through this, and it may not work. We're going to give it a shot. So I have a new book out called Matador. Well, actually, I need to claim my title first. So we'll go here. Okay, this has all of my books except Matador. So let's see if we can find it. Okay, so claim title. Work with a producer, okay? So Amazon has really great narrators and a system that's very easy to use should you want to create an audiobook with them. Easy does not mean cheap. So they have a posting agreement, and here you're really saying that you have the rights to this book, right? And then it also asks if you want to give Amazon exclusive distribution or if you want to post wide, which means that libraries, Spotify, other people can pick it up. The big difference there is royalties. Let's see if they've got it in here. Another big difference is you are tied into this for 7 years if you choose to let Amazon publish your book. But the royalties are very, very much better. And let's see what it is. We'll see if we can find it somewhere else. Filtering payments to reduce royalty payments. You do want to actually read all of this. But what they do is they do give you the shortcut. This says you have the rights to the book. You want to add your book to ACX to get it produced as an audiobook. You'll be able to meet potential narrators and producers. You'll distribute the completed audiobook. You'll have a choice to distribute on an exclusive or non-exclusive basis. And any information you put in the profile will be accurate. So if you want to make an audiobook, you do that. And then you have to, this pulled my blurb from the Amazon page, right? It's fiction. It is erotica. Mystery, thriller, suspense. And then this is actually okay. The copyright was to look at my calendar. It just happened, but I've already forgotten. Frightening. Just the year. 5.
That's easier.
Yeah. Well, you have to get the date. Nope, this is where I put Renegade Reads. Sorry. Renegade Reads, which is my publishing company. And this should be my name. Whoa. So this is just the form. Of course, they ask me questions I can't answer. Let's see, it's 86,000 words. Let's not do Dutch today.
Yeah.
So you import your chapters and then you pick your distribution. So that's where you're going to do exclusive or not exclusive. I actually here I can import this from Kindle. Choose non-exclusive distribution. But look at the difference in royalties, 40% versus 25. But for me, it's important that libraries be able to get my books. And actually, Spotify is doing more and more. It used to just be Find Away Voices. Through
Yes.
Spotify, you can get out to Kobo and Apple Books and everybody else.
Wow.
But you have to go through this process after your book is made. So if we hit continue, then auditions. So you can receive auditions to find the narrator, or you can choose to record yourself, or maybe you have a narrator. And then this is really fun. So you can select the gender of your narrator and the language. You can select, do they need a Boston accent, an Australian accent? So that's a lot of fun. German Saxon, uh, the age, right? And for this is
Yeah.
vocal style, right? Voice age. And then you want them articulate, brooding, booming, deadpan, engaging. So this is actually a lot of fun.
That is a lot of fun.
And then you pick a script. And so your script, and it needs to be fairly short, is 2-3 pages of text. So pick a scene or two where you feel, say it's dialogue. Dialogue's a great one to do because you've got two people going back and forth, right? Don't pick just like your first 2 pages, right? Don't pick scenes that you think are gonna, um, really give you some insight into how that narrator is going to perform your books. That's why dialogue is usually really important. Definitely don't go over 3 pages, and some people won't even do that much. And then you can, pay for production. You can do royalty share or royalty share plus. I pay for production because I feel it's important to pay the artists. And then it gives you levels to do that. And it's how much you pay per produced hour. So the great thing is they're bidding on not just reading, but producing those chapters. And so that requires a lot of editing, a lot of other stuff that I personally don't know how to do, which is why I would never do my own books, not to mention my voice. But, but when you go through all of this and you just fill out these forms and then it'll say, "Are you ready to go?" And, you say, "Yes, I'm ready to go get narrators." And after you do that, check your ACX inbox, like, every few hours. And they're
Yes.
coming hot and heavy, and a friend of mine didn't check for a couple weeks, and she had hundreds of interviews to go listen to. So you wanna stay up on this. So if you're gonna get an audiobook done, make sure you've got some time in the 2, 3, 4 days ahead of you to start listening as you go so that you can pick your editor before you have 500 people to wade through. And honestly, some of it you just know in the first few seconds that it's not your book. The last time I did this, I got it down to my 3 favorites, and I actually sent them out to 3 different audiobook listers who I know and asked them to weigh in because it's really hard to choose. And they did, and they all ended up being one person that was the strongest, and that was the one that I chose. And so then they go through the production. It's actually really easy. They send you, it depends on the narrator, but they may send you a chapter every day for a few weeks. They'll give you a schedule and let you know when it's coming in. You listen to it, you make some notes, perhaps they pronounced something wrong or said something, or you have found an error in your book. Get your picks and have them reread. And because they get it edited, they can put that in really smoothly so that it sounds great. And at the end, when you're ready for production, you got it done, you pay the person, and you've got all these book files by chapter that, ACX will automatically process, but that you can also go upload into places like Spotify. So it becomes a really easy process. It is expensive to do an audiobook, but if you've got an extra
I was gonna
$10 laying around,
I was gonna say, what is give our listeners kind of an idea of how much it costs for an average, like,
I think
80,000?
$200 per finished hour. And give me 1 second and I will give you, I'm going to stop share real quick and look this up. And an audiobook is a like to have. It's not necessarily a must have, but you will get some reads. You do have to market it. It also, I think, adds a layer of professionalism
Yeah.
to your books.
I
Uh,
I was going to ask you about that. Why did you decide to create, what was your determining factor to have audiobooks?
so I listen to a lot of audiobooks.
Yeah.
I really do. And so I was like, wow, I can't imagine having books out there that aren't also audiobooks. So I had my first two that were that I did this way that we've talked about. And then after that, I did not I have more books now that aren't audiobooks than are. I did do one Amazon offers for free. You can do AI narrator, and the voices are pretty good. I just wanted to experiment with it and try it out. And it was, it's not bad, but it is not nearly as
Yeah.
good as the human narrators.
Yeah.
So it's just something to keep in mind. They are getting better. Again, I mean, I'm one that likes to play the artist. So um it,
And I was going to say, in terms of a business decision, what do you think about, like, do you think it was a good business decision for you to do? Are you seeing a money return? How, since we talked so much about business.
it is gonna take a long, long time for my audiobook to pay me back.
Yeah.
There's no doubt about that. Uh so I mean that is definitely something to keep in mind. I'm still looking for this. I should have gotten it beforehand. You know what? I will put it in the
Yeah.
because I can't find it right now. Um, but it's definitely not a moneymaker. It's definitely a money loser for me at this point. But I do think it's super cool that I've got some audiobooks out there. I'd love to have them all out there. And, I'll either someday find a publisher to do that or figure out a different way to do it because I do think that it's important.
Yeah. For a new author, what would you suggest for somebody just starting and just publishing their first book? Should they run out and get a audiobook?
I probably wouldn't,
Yeah.
unless unless it's important to you, unless you are experimenting and you have the money to do so kind of safely, then I think it's okay because you need to learn some of these things, but you cannot expect, I would not ever expect it to make your money back in a reasonable amount of time.
So if it's a choice between a cover and an audiobook, put the money into the cover.
Every time.
Yeah. Well, we can put that in we can put the approximate cost or the cost of the notes. So yeah, now that we've shown people what it looks like on the back end of creating one.
Yeah, I want to say it was about $1,800, 16 to $1,800, but I just don't remember the exact number.
Yeah. Well, and I think it was really fun because when all of those interviews, those audition tapes started coming through, I got to listen to a bunch of them, and it was really fun to hear because there's a lot immediately, and some of it's like, oh no, not at all, and so it's like, oh yeah, that could be. It was a lot of fun. It was fun listening to it.
It's a great process to go through. It is a lot of fun, and they give you a super quality product. So if it's something you want to do, it's definitely a possibility. You can get it done, and Amazon makes it very easy.
Yeah. Yeah. Great. So, all right, everybody, if you have questions about this, let us know in the comments and we will get to them. Otherwise, I think we're signing out. That was more than 5 minutes, but I think it was a valuable 5 minutes. And any of you who are considering doing audiobooks, let us know. If you've done one, if you're thinking about doing one, let us know in the comments how it went for you. And we will see you next time. Thank you so much. Bye.